Because I do think Hi-Fi Rush is definitely going to be there.
Yeah.
I do think Sea of Thieves. I know for a fact that there's a big one that I think a lot of people will be very surprised at. That will be going to PlayStation as well.
So in addition to Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves, there's a big one that's going to PlayStation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think people will be very surprised at that one.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. It seems another day, another rumor. Just when we quashed the Starfield rumor going to PlayStation, it looks like Tom Warren decides when he jumped onto Destin's podcast to deliver another rumor in an endless cycle of rumors, because this one he knows for a fact, apparently, that another game is going, and it's a big one, apparently. It's not Halo. Well, Destin later in the podcast tried to ask him or kind of hint, is it Halo? Is it a man with a hat insinuating Indiana Jones? He kind of stumbled on both a little bit, and before he said, I'm not going to say anything. All I'm going to say is people will be surprised. So will I be surprised at Indiana Jones? Not really. Would I be surprised at Halo? Yes, I would. But I can't see Halo going over there. Even Master Chief Collection, I cannot see. But you know what? Welcome to another video. Thanks so much for stopping by. In this video, we're going to be talking about the current rumors and where Microsoft stands, where things stand with Microsoft, what we know from that's coming out from Microsoft, and hopefully try to end these rumors soon because they are driving everyone insane. And honestly, I'm at the point now where I'm just tired of talking about them because we're all going around in circles, just trying to figure out what's what. And at this point, I think more people just want to know the actual message coming from Microsoft so this whole dilemma can end, rather than actually finding out what's going where, because the media is running rampant with it. The media is doing everything they can for clicks. Anyone that says anything right now is going to get a bajillion clicks, just making a simple, oh, these people are considering, and you can say anything you want at this point. Everyone is going to believe it. Everyone is going to run rampant with it. There's people saying that there's no way another console is ever getting sold from Microsoft because no one would buy it. And for those people, what I will say is you are delusional. But if you do find this video useful or informative, we have broken 6,500 subs. We're actually at 6.55, which is amazing. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the previous video. I hope you enjoyed the intro. I enjoyed making it. But we are now on our way to 7,000 subs. So let's see if we can get there in record time. If you enjoy the content, do consider leaving a like. We are going for that 200 like challenge again. And let's see if we can get more subs if you are enjoying the content. And if you are new to the channel, do consider subscribing. Let's see if we can get to 7,000 subs before the end of January. And on with the video. So we have this you're seeing on screen right now. And what it is a message that basically says that Microsoft has reassured its staff members that essentially they're not going anywhere. They are still building consoles. They are looking to build more devices like the handheld consoles, and they are looking to invest more in hardware. So the notion that they're going out of business, the notion that they're going out of hardware, the notion that they're stopping hardware is ludicrous. There was even a rumor talking about the fact that Microsoft is stopping hardware Q1. That's pretty much bogus if what has been said to the staff at the town hall meeting is to be taken as gospel. This also came out from staff members working at Microsoft. So it feels a little weird for them to lie about it. But if they're looking to invest in more hardware, they're looking to bring on the Surface team for the handheld side of things, for them to then turn around and say, hey, we're going to leave the Xbox Series consoles behind and not manufacture them anymore, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all if they're looking to invest. Now, whether that console in the future is going to be an all-digital console or provide you with the option with an external drive to use your disc products for those backward compatibility games, for game preservation, is unknown. But as of right now, what we can see is that Microsoft is pretty much gung-ho with devices. We are getting another full-fat console. We are going to get a Steam Deck Switch-like handheld as well that is rumored to be powered by the cloud once it is docked. Non-docked, it will run it's supposed to run native Xbox games, so it should be a native Xbox handheld console, which is really cool because that is something that I've always wanted, and it just makes you go mobile a lot easier with your Xbox. Now, even if in the the non-docked position the console is weaker, once you dock it, it pretty much gets more powerful through the power of the cloud. At least that's what they're doing. Now, there's also talks about Microsoft doing a kind of Windows hybrid system where you can actually build the Xbox OS into Windows. And so if you want to play Xbox through your Windows, you activate the Xbox OS that is pre-built, and you can download those games into that sandbox. That would be kind of really cool. It means that you can play Xbox on your PC if you want to, or just have that kind of hybrid on your home console. It's a bit weird to wrap your head around it, but essentially what it means is you'll have a unified UI, the Xbox OS, across everything. And so when you're playing your games, everything looks the same. No matter where you go, it feels the same. So there's merit in the madness. But what Tom Warren is saying here, getting back to the original story, is that, Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves is likely going to go to other platforms. Now, we've known this for a while because those two names have been propping up all the time. And through the FTC case, we know that Microsoft has to provide a case-by-case basis, at least some games, to show that they are being, forthcoming with their commitments. So those two, fine. Now he's saying that there is a big one coming that people will be surprised about. Now, God knows what that is. I can't imagine it being any of the Microsoft game studios like Gears, Halo, because those are like core Xbox titles. So my assumption has to be that it is going to either be a ZeniMax game or it is going to be a ABK game. Now, obviously, COD, Diablo, Overwatch are already on there, so there's not really much else that ABK do that can potentially be classified as a big game. Now, I'm sure some of you are going to name some, but the fact that I can't really think of them means that they're not that big. And for Tom Warren to come out and say it, it has to be big. I also want to ratify that I don't believe a single thing he's saying. Just for the record, I don't think there is anything like that. There very well could be, but considering how much rubbish that these people have reported on, not just Tom, but everyone else in the media, trying to get those clicks, trying to get those headlines, trying to basically hope that anything that they throw at the wall, something will stick and they'll get it right and say, hey, we called it. I'm very, very dubious at this point. Well, I've been dubious from the get-go, but right now, at this point, I expect them to turn around and say that Microsoft is creating a flying airplane that can play Xbox on the actual dashboard and use that to fly anywhere they want. As you know, it sounds dumb because it is dumb, but I expect them to come out with some of the dumbest shit in the world at this point, because until Microsoft come out and say something, they're going to continue down this route to make sure that they can farm engagement as much as humanly possible. And unfortunately, that is the state of affairs that we are in right now. But what could this, let's play devil's advocate here, what could this game actually be? Now, I don't think it's going to be indie, even though a lot of people are thinking right now that it is indie. Some said Halo. I can't imagine it being Halo. The one game I can imagine it being, and I think would surprise some people, is Doom. I think that is the one that makes most sense to me. Now, do I want any of those games going over to PlayStation? Not really. But if it is true, my first thought was Pentiment, right? They can have Pentiment because, they loved Pentiment. They were crying about Pentiment. So, we can throw them a bone with Pentiment. But if it's going to be an even bigger game than Pentiment, because Pentiment was like Game of the Year nomination, then I have to assume it is Doom. Now, there are other games that ZeniMax makes. There are other games that Activision Blizzard makes. But just me thinking about it on a more logical basis, I can't think of anything else. I think if Blade or Indiana Jones went, it's going to cause too much trouble. It's going to cause too much upset, too much frustration from the community, especially when the rest of the world just doesn't get, the Spider-Man, the Venom games, the Wolverine games. Why should they get any of our Marvel games? It's really, or Disney games. It's really that simple. If they're not giving anything, why should we give anything to them? So I can't imagine it being the indie games. I think that would be a massive slap in the face to all Xbox fans. But then there was something else that I read the other, it was this morning that really kind of made me think, because Tim Dog made a post saying that Xbox is headed for another flop, 3 hardware generations in a row. And so I said, well, the 360 wasn't a flop. It was a monumental success. The Xbox One was a disaster. And the series consoles, despite the crappy launch with no exclusives, because Halo was in a dumpster fire position, at the end of the day, it was doing well and propelling well. It cut the deficit from 3-to-1 console sales to 2-to-1, which is a big thing, right, for Xbox. And then until these rumors came out, it was doing well. It was well on its way to recovery. So I said, I disagreed with that. And then they were saying, like, well, who's going to buy another console? And then I just thought to myself, look, at the end of the day, us on Twitter, we make maybe, 1% of the gaming community? I reckon we make less than 0.1%. The average casual, the average normie doesn't give a shit. So the fact that Microsoft are making consoles, they will continue to make consoles, because on Twitter, there's probably, from that 27 million consoles sold, there's probably maybe 200k that actually is on Twitter that actually cares. The other 26.8 million doesn't care. They just want to go home and put their console on. So to even consider or to think that Microsoft is still not going to be in the hardware race is stupid. It's silly. It doesn't make any sense, especially when we've had rumors coming out that the hardware is is already in development. They're talking about handheld consoles that I guess in the future, that's what everything is going to be. Nintendo's already there and they're just iterating and making it more and more powerful. But where we are right now, that is it. Now, going back to the Tom Warren situation, I don't really know what he's talking about. I think he's just saying it to stir trouble, to stir rumors, to be able to write an article. Whatever his motive is, the fact that he's sitting there and saying, oh, I can't say it, I can't say what the title is, but I know for a fact this and this is happening. At the end of the day, it sounds a bit, it doesn't sound right. And for a journalist to come out and say that, it's even more disingenuous. At the end of the day, if you're going to come out and say, I know for a fact that this is coming out, then that means you've already got that information. What are you waiting for? You're waiting for that exclusive article to write it so you can make more money and then, find out later that the information you got was wrong, just like Nate the Hate, and retract it. But you know what? You're not going to delete that post or that tweet because of all the engagement it got, and you're going to rake in the money. I don't know. The way I see it right now, that is how I'm seeing it. Even Nate the Hate, Xbox Zero, they made a ton from that engagement. Tons from that engagement. And then they turn around and say, well, I'm not going to delete the tweet. Of course you're not going to delete the tweet. You'll be deleting that engagement. Why would you delete the tweet? You want that engagement because it pays you. Do you know what I mean? It's not like there's being anything like sophisticated here. So I'm sure some of you have heard this. Some of you will have, been aware of this. But to me, this is a whole bunch of nothing burger. You can see from Destin's face, he's kind of sick of the actual accusations, the rumors, the actual, the stuff that's being thrown out there with basically being completely and utterly baseless. It's all over the place. But again, when will Microsoft come out and address this? Who knows? We're expecting Monday. I'm also hearing a lot of people now estimating Thursday, and time will tell. But all I can say is it's going to be interesting when they do come out, because a lot of things are going to be said. I think it will shake the foundations of everyone. But I also believe those people that jump ship, those people that abandon ship, or those people that completely and utterly blew their minds are probably going to have a look in the mirror and just say, was it worth it? Because at the end of the day, what the message that's being written up right now, the information, from what I've heard, was supposed to come in March, to finish off the third financial quarter. But because of the rumors, they're now pushing everything forward. What does this mean? There's a lot of legal and PR that has to come into this, a lot of revisions of that statement where people had another 2 months to write this and get it all sorted. They have a week to make sure it's all done with airtight communication, because the ongoing FTC case is still there. If they say the wrong thing, it will be used as ammunition, or at least they will try to use it as ammunition, as we saw with the layoffs in court. And Microsoft's already sick and tired with the FTC and their constant badgering with the court case with FTC trying to divest them. They need to make sure that whatever communication they come out with when they speak to us, it has to be airtight. And considering these lawyers, the legal team and the PR team had 2 months to get this sorted, ready. Now they've got like 5 days, maybe 6 or maybe a week. That's it. That's a huge crunch time to get that. And don't forget, that's going to go through multiple revisions until it's perfect. Because Satya Nadella also has to, say it's above board. He's happy with it. If he wants to make any changes at any point to his speech or add anything, same as Phil or same as Sarah Bond, that and even the slightest tweak has to go back to countless legal teams, countless PR teams to make sure it's all authorized, all okayed, all airtight, no things. And if there isn't, and there needs to be a change, they then make that alteration, send it back. The board has a look at it. If they're okay with it, then it goes back for further ratification, further authorization, and then it goes through. So it's a long process, and they're having to do this what should have taken 2 months in a week. So it's a busy time over there to get this right, and that is why there's no communication. A lot of people are saying, why don't they come out and say something? At the end of the day, if they come out and say anything, it's going to get twisted. It's going to get manipulated. The media is going to be all over it, and they're just going to twist it and try and make it into their own agenda. It's just not worth it. So we'll find out when they're ready to communicate. Not long now. At the end of the day, it is Sunday right now, and worst case scenario, we'll have to wait another maximum 5 days. But I suspect tomorrow we should hear something. If we don't, the number of days that we have to wait is on a countdown from 5 to 0. And that's it, folks. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion. If you did enjoy this content, if you did find it informative, or simply want to support the channel, hit that like button. We are going for that 200 like challenge. If you are new to the channel and want to support the channel's growth, hit that subscribe button. We are trying to get to 7,000 subs. And of course, if you want to support me further, you can do that through my Patreon, YouTube membership, and of course, the super thanks in the link below. You can join my Discord, which is free entry. There's no paywall. All the links in the description below. My social media, everything, all in the description below. Feel free to follow me, get in touch. Let's liaise, and I'll see you in the next one. Remain legend.